Hi Capricorn, welcome to your April reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are doing well. So there was a lot that came through while I was meditating on your energy, Capricorn. I got this box, and it was like sort of a front, and then it kind of moved, and it showed like this really deep end of it, and it had like all these deeper layers basically. So there's just something that it was about the perception of things and the viewpoint of things, and understanding that certain things may look like they should just work and it should be easy, but there is actually a lot more going on behind the scenes, and there's much more depth to things. So for some of you, it really has to do with your mental health. You might actually try to recover from a phase where you were dealing with more anxiety, or maybe PTSD or depression, anxiety, personality things like that, like just some old things, just rediscovering or re-entering an old phase of your life that came up, something like that, or just overall just dealing with your mental health and trying to get it in such a way where it works for you and not against you. And also a little bit, I kept hearing like the fight and flight mode, like when you go through a phase where either, for example, you're financially really unstable, and you kind of just have to like put all, make all ends meet basically. Then once you're kind of out of that situation, your body, your mind, your focus still might actually be in that fight or flight mode, that survival mode. And it takes some time to really do the inner work in order to calm that down as well. Even if in the material world it's not existing anymore, your body can still carry and hold on to that energy. So I'm sensing that that's something that you will make a lot of headway in the month of April. Those eclipses as well, that will come in the end of April and in May. Eclipse season is coming up. But we already had like a new moon on the 1st of April in your fourth house. That is the house of home. That's Cancer house. But it's the house where it's not always only about the physical home and doing things in the home, and those are all things that, yes, definitely can show up. But you want to just create a more calmer space, or you might think about moving, or you actually get some news about that within now in the next 2 weeks. But I felt with the fourth house energy was almost like cleaning house within yourself, the house that you live in, the body you live in, the mind you live in, the spirit that lives within that, and trying to clean house, lifting up those rocks, seeing what's under that, or whatever you swept under there in the name of, we just need to get it done, okay? We'll talk about this later. So that's what I'm sensing. And I feel as well, for some of you might actually really want to make decisions to move forward on something, but you kind of feel hold back. And that hold back energy is kind of stands on its own, even though it feels so intertwined, interconnected. Like, if I just make a decision, if I just go ahead, if I just make a choice, then I feel better about it. But it's not necessarily that is kind of creating this feeling. I feel it's more like still needing to sort of clean out some of that old energy, and that with that clear head view that you will get, definitely you will get that clarity at one point. From that space, you will make decisions that feel good, not that only made the most sense, or like that. So yes, we'd had, especially, with the Capricorn energy, but also with the heart. And I think that's something you guys just really deserve, feeling very fulfilled from the heart, instead of only from the material sense, or from feeling proud of yourself or seeing the results. All of that gives you feelings as well, and it's nothing wrong with that. But it also has to bring a level of contentment and fulfillment, because you guys, you're opposite of Cancers, so it needs to feel good, okay? And sometimes we need to redefine what feels good and why it feels good. That's what I'm saying. Working up towards Capricorn, towards this full moon in Libra, which represents your 10th house, which is really good, because that will bring in for you that those career choices, making the decisions to step out of your comfort zone, or actually create a new comfort zone, because that's it. Here we go. Still a little bit on that energy. I know I'm sensing this in your collective, and I totally understand that, because there is this feeling of want to be happy, but I just don't know how at the moment, you know. And it's totally okay that you need time to let go of what was or what you thought it would be. But you will get out of that. But you gotta sort of give yourself the space to feel those feelings, to feel those emotions, to have those thoughts, and then work your way through them. Because with the Two of Wands, it's a clear decision. And this is when you clean the house, you know, this Temperance. That's where patience comes back and you feel better. You understand that what goes into that cup should be a mix of multiple things, you know. And then you see the sun rising again. So the illumination comes as well. You know, it's like, but what I'm also sensing, because for the first time in, you know, I'm sensing like the sun goes down, because it can also, you know, the sun could set actually. Even when the light goes out, you have this unwavering blind trust in the pathway that you are on, because you know things by heart, not by view. That's a little bit where I'm sensing you guys going. Start to walk by faith, walk by heart. And you know it by heart. And so you don't need always the enlightenment and the things to show up in the material, because by heart you know you're doing the right thing. And I'm sensing that if you get to that point, and on that point on your journey, it just becomes way easier to let go of the things that aren't feeling in alignment, and to move forward on the things that do. And so you make choices, because it's all about making decisions and choices that feel good in the end of the day. With the everything is fine card, just stop bullshitting yourself and your world around you. I'm sorry, guys. Everything is fine. Yup. She looks fine. She looks super, like, relaxed and, you know, fulfilled. Definitely the silver lining of it all. Here we go. Six of Cups. Yeah, for some of you, definitely has to do with healing from childhood traumas. And it doesn't have to be about... Because I'm sensing that for some of you, the word trauma is like a little bit of a sticky energy, situation, energy you don't like to, you know, be attached to. Like, I don't have traumas. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Look at me functioning in this world. You know, I understand, but the trauma is something that is just an experience, or going through things on a certain age where you maybe aren't, you know, capable of storing it in the right space. And so you kind of carry that energy in your subconscious, and you don't know why you make certain decisions, but it's kind of because maybe way back you were in a certain situation where that's what your flight mode was. Once again, that flight mode. Or that's where your coping mechanism was, and you kind of find yourself in your adult life coping in a similar way, when you think, you know, it's just the way I cope. What's wrong with it? But it might actually prevent you from healing it and understanding it, and also understanding you can choose where you cope from which space. You have all these options, and yet you might limit yourself to a certain way of coping with love, coping with work, coping with income, coping with future plans, coping with the day-to-day routines, coping with taking care of yourself, coping with, you know, all those things. So definitely sensing that energy that the Page of Pentacles, you're doing the work and you will receive the benefit from it. You will see it in all the small and bigger details in your life. That's what I'm sensing. Three of Swords. Yep. So, what else for my Capricorns? The moon is here, exactly, because once the sun sets and the moon comes out, everything is upside down. But it doesn't matter, because you're not focusing on that. You're focusing on following the things you know by heart. Moon, the Six of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Death. And you know, walking with that sense of fate also has a lot to do with trusting your own intuitive wisdom, trusting yourself, trusting your gut, trusting that nagging feeling, trusting that something feels good and something doesn't feel right, trusting it, believing in it, you know, letting it guide you. Here we have the Moon, Six of Wands, Five of Wands, and the Death card. So you are definitely in a situation where you will beat the competition, because there's just they're not really competition. So I'm sensing if you felt resistance from people from your inner circle and actually got a lot of support from people outside your inner circle, I'm sensing that is coming to an end. I'm not coming to an end that you're only feeling it from your outside circle and not, I mean like that you feel less of the resistance from your inner circle and it's starting to more align with the people outside that circle, Sometimes it's really nice to talk to somebody who's not emotionally connected to your well-being. And it sounds maybe a little bit double. What I mean to say is that when you come up to, for example, you do like, you go to a, what should we say? What should we create right now in our mind's eye? You go to like this workshop, a cool, dope workshop. A lot of creative people, you come there, they make music, you make music, or whatever you do, and you do it together. You're like super like-minded. It's like, you know what, I really want to do this, create that. Oh well, that's super dope. Hey, nice to meet you, have a nice life, goodbye. Okay, people are supportive of what you're doing. They're looking at you through the eye of what you present yourself in that very moment. When you sometimes talk to people, for example, who went to school with all the degrees, got their money that way, that's the way they would teach and learn and grew up, and oh yeah, security, give it to me. Okay, and then you come up, yes, I'm gonna quit my job, I'm doing this because I'm gonna focus 100% on my music thing, and I got going of this idea. And then they say, are you sure that you want to quit your job? Like, you're like, you're gonna be good with like your rent and like, how are you gonna provide for it? Like, do you have like, are you okay, we all know these conversations, and it's not because they're not supportive, but because they care about you and they project their own fears onto you because they want that well-being as they see that the well-being is fitted, okay, and functioning. So I'm sensing that that's coming to a close because you're so strong and firmly in what you're deciding. And when you show up from that space of your heart, all they can do is meet you from that heart, because otherwise they can't meet you. So that's an idea I'm sensing, okay? And it's, look at that, Empress. What? And the Page of Cups. The Empress and the Page of Cups. And the Magician. Now, of course, and the Magician. Because why not? And you have the Five of Pentacles with the Hierophant and the Star. Exactly that. That's exactly what we're just talking about. This unwavering faith, this walking by the heart, what you know, what your soul is guiding you towards, combined with the Five of Pentacles. This is what looks on the outside, but this is what's going on the inside. And this is where you go for. So, definitely important to understand that your immune system is key this month, okay? Work on your immune system as much as possible. Being conscious about who you are around, and that also comes because if you are around, surround yourself with a lot of low frequency people, your immune system can go down a little bit. I'm not saying you shouldn't at all, because sometimes it's a person who's going through grief or loss or whatever, and you're there, and of course totally okay, but then combine it with something else, like a walk outside, fresh air, all of that, and maybe take that person outside, and so you can both take on some of that frequency. But in the end of the day, I'm sensing that you guys have this very strong immune system, and you're working towards that, and that's something that really protects you moving forward. So the Page of Cups with the Empress and the Magician, taking things in your own hand, but from this whole new space. This is a woman who understands that life has taught me many things, and I don't need to pretend to be okay, or need to pretend to, be totally fine, like the everything is fine card. See, I understand that this has only made my life, richer, and it taught me a lot. And I don't know how to take care of myself first. From a very beautiful, loving space. You appreciate your own presence as well. This is a month where you do things from a space of grace. That's what I'm feeling. From a place of grace. That's what I keep hearing. And you have the Magician as well. So your self-confidence and things like that are also leveling up because of this different viewpoint. You understand that walking by heart isn't about rushing into it. Isn't about making it happen in the next day. King of Swords is here together with the Four of Pentacles. So that definitely indicates that you understand that what the bare minimum is, and from that, and that's what you work for, and that's what you get together, because you still are in a Capricorn, and you know, you should definitely be yourself with certain things. But you also understand that you don't have to completely neglect all your wants and your needs in order to provide for yourself. You don't, because there might be things that you're striving for that don't even come close to give you the level of fulfillment or contentment or payout on the other end of the scale. And what you have to sacrifice. What does it cost you? Beautiful. Knight of Swords and the Fool card. That's where the new journey begins. Look so much freer she feels. I'm really feeling like, you know, of course I know the Fool card is an Aries card, but this is such a Capricorn image. She looks like a Capricorn to me. I swear. I'm just saying. Alright. Let's see what else is coming in for my Capricorns. What type of oracle message wants to come true? Your fate. That energy is strongly. I mean, you have the Hierophant in combination with the Star card, so definitely. Karma releasing, yes. Karma, or let's say trauma releasing. Move beyond trauma. Create your own path. Make room for good energy. Wow, this card is so accurate. I'm going to read the message from the book and I'll sign out. Won't keep you guys too long. Let's see, Saint Germain. Where is that? Let me see in the index. Here we go, 94. It says, karma is the spiritual law of cause and effect. We experience many levels of karma. Some we inherited from our family and some from the people we keep helping out of the problems that they keep creating. Saint Germain is here to clear your energy so you no longer have the weight of the world or your loved ones on your shoulder. Be aware that old patterns is leaving your life and creating space for something more loving to enter. Visualize yourself surrounded by fairy violet glow to release all the karma you no longer need. Great meditation point. Envisioning yourself surrounded by either a piece of fabric, a purple piece of fabric, or purple light. Okay, that's something that will be very beneficial for you guys, that purple energy. I have a couple of Capricorns in my life, and I have earth signs, and they all love this color. It's not that you don't have to, I'm just saying that I do know a lot that these colors are just one of their favorite colors. Alright, so it's about first granting yourself the opportunity to look at things from a new perspective. You understand that you don't have to bully yourself out of trauma. You can definitely love yourself through that. And first being open and honest with yourself, and then maybe with some people around you or some professionals, and then working your way up towards that inner peace to calm it down, that fight and flight mode, to calm it down. And from that space, you open up to a whole new way of viewing things, and you see the world change around you because the world within you is changing, Capricorn. Beautiful. Be patient with yourself. I love you. You got this. And I'll see you back next one. Yeah, the next one. Okay. Bye, Capricorn.